Chapter 2, Expressions and Equation. Chapter 2, Lesson 1, Solve equation with rational coefficients. Okay, number 1, you have negative 2 over 3 w equal to 60. So to do this, to find the value of w, so 60 multiplied by the inverse of this coefficient multiplied by the negative 3 over 2. You inverse this coefficient. So you have 180, negative 180 divided by 2 will give you a negative 90. For this number, all you need to do is just use 9.6 divide 1.2. So 9.6 divide 1.2, that will give you 8. Number 3, this is a negative, so you simplify the negative, so the answer will be positive. So to do that, to find the value of n, all you need to do is just use 413 over 4, or 413.4, you divide 15.9. So when you divide this number, and that will give you 26, no more negative. Now for this number, you have to work on this number first. This number. Make this into improper fraction. So 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. So you got 20 over 9, and then you multiply by the inverse of this. So multiply by the negative of 5 over 4, inverse of this one. This is the coefficient, so you inverse the coefficient of the variable m. So your answer will be a negative, and when you multiply this together, you have 20 times 5 give you 100, and divide by 64. 20 divided by 64, when you simplify it, you have 25 over 9, or you have negative 2, 7 over 9. You got negative 2 and then 7 over 9. Let me try to use a calculator to check if I'm correct or not. You got 100, and then you divide by 36. And you try to make this into mixed number. Yep. So negative 2, 7 over 9. For this number, you do the same thing with this. Yep. First of all, you need to convert this into improper fraction first. Write this one first. So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 2, you got 12 over 5. And then you multiply by, this is the negative, multiply by the negative. Now let's try to inverse this one. Well, when you inverse, you put the denominator up here. So put 2 first, so that you will not get confused with this. Now, after that, you work on this number. 3 times 2, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. The answer will be a negative. So 12 times negative 2, and then divide by 35. So you got 24. 24 divide, simplify with 35. You will have 12 over 17. So negative 12. This is so when it's 24 over 35, let me check. 24 divided by 35. No, this cannot be simplified. So you got 24 over 35. So the same, negative. This one will give you a negative as well, but work with this part first, because right now the coefficient is on the left hand side. So you work on this first. We give you a negative. 9 times 10, 90. 90 plus 9, you got 99 over 10, and you multiply by the inverse of this one. So inverse of this, you put the denominator 2 first up here, and then work on the numerator. 1 times 2, 2. 2 plus 1 gives 3. So the answer will be a negative 99 times 2, 99 times 2, and then you divide, or you simplify with 30. That will give you, if you want this one into mixed number, that will give you 6, and then 3 over 5. Final answer, negative 6, 3 over 5. Going furthermore to the other numbers. Number 7. Number 7, you work on this number first. 12 times 3, 36 plus 2, 38. You got 38 over 3 multiplied by the inverse of this. Put 9 up here first and work on the numerator. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So You got 38. 12 times 3 and you plus 2, 38. Yeah, you got 38 times by 9, and then you divide by 30, or you simplify with 30. Simplify this one with 30 down here. That will give you, into mixed number, will give you a negative, this negative answer, negative 11, 2 over 5. The last number for this section. Alright, you work with this one first. Put down the negative. Now 1 times 14, 14 plus 13, you got this at 27 over 14. You multiply by the inverse of this. So you put 7 up here first, so that you will not get confused with this. So 1 times 7 plus 5 is 12. So to work on that, you multiply 27 with 7, and then let me multiply this together. It's kind of a big number, but that's alright. We have to spend time on that. 27 multiplied by 7, that will give you 189, and then 14 multiplied by 12, that will give you 168. So 168, and you simplify this together. So 189 simplified by 168. So 189 simplified with 168. That give you into mixed number, will give you a negative 1, and then 1 over 8. Let's continue furthermore to the other section of this lesson. Right, for where we have number 10, number 11, all the way to the number 12. Read the instruction first. Instruction said, define variable, then write the equation, then write and solve an equation for each situation. So first you need to define variable first. How many miles did the Parker family drove on the first day? So let me represent M as how many miles. So let's say M equal to the miles on the first day. Miles on the first day. Right, after that, write equation. So this distance is 1.5 times the distance drove on the first day. So which means that 1.5 d. So you have 1.5 you times by d is equal to 180. So once you have this, to solve for d, all you need to do is just use 180 divided by 1.5. That will give you 120 miles on the first day. Number 10, define variable first. How many questions? Okay, let's say Q as the number of questions. Let's say Q equal to total number of questions. Let's say total question or number of questions. And then write the equation. So 80%, which is 0.8. If he answers 16 questions correctly, how many questions were on? Alright, which means 16 questions represent the 80% of a whole of the total number of questions. So which means that you have 0.8 of the total question is equal to 16 questions. So once you have write down this equation, all you need to do to find the total number of questions is just use 16 divided by 0.8. So if you got 16 divided by 0.8, that will give you 20 questions. So totally you have 20 questions. Okay, number 11. For number 11, 1/3 of the badgers in the bakery are sesame badgers. Okay, there are 72 sesame badgers. How many badgers are in the bakery? Alright, so you have 1/3, let's say, let's represent B. Okay, let's say B is the total badger. So once you identify the variable, define variable, let's write the equation. So 1/3, you have 1/3 of that badger is equal to, there are 72, so 72. So to find for the total number badger in the bakery is equal to, but this one all you need to do is just multiply by the inverse of 1/3. So in other words, 72 multiplied by 3 divides 1. So 72 times 3, that will give you 216 badgers. Now for the last number, number 12. Number 12, Demetrius deposited $41.65, which is 60% of his paycheck. Okay, this amount of money represents 60% of his paycheck. So what was the amount of his paycheck? All right. So let's say represent A is the amount of his paycheck. A, amount of paycheck. Right, A is the amount of paycheck. Then after you define the variable, then write equation. Let's write it. So A, well, 60% of a whole paycheck is this value. So in other words, 60%, which is 0.6 times A is equal to 41.67. To solve for A, all you need to do, you use 41.67, and you divide 0.6. It will give you about $69.45. Chapter 2, Lesson 2, solve two-step equations. Let's begin with number 1. You got 16 equal to 5 minus 9x. You can write in this, let me exchange in position. I can write 5x minus 9 equal to 16. I think in that way it will be easier for us to do the problem. So after that, you transpose 9 to the other side. You have 5x equal to 16. Now transpose 9, this is minus 9. When you transpose the 9, negative, it becomes positive. Positive 9. So you got 16 plus 9, you have 5x equal to 25. So to solve for x, 25, this is 5x, sorry, I write 15. 5x equal 25. So to solve for x, 25 divided by 5, I will give you a 5. For number 2, you write down, I will do step by step for you. Is equal to negative 1 half of x is equal to, I will write down the negative 11 first. Now you transpose the 7 to the other side. So 7 is positive, is negative. When you move to the other side, what we call transposing, it becomes plus 7. So you have this still the same, is a negative 1 over 2x is equal to, so you have a negative 11. Negative 11 you plus by 7, that will give you a negative 4. So negative 4. So since negative with negative, it's all positive. So you just remove the negative because it's already positive. So to get x value, you multiply this by the inverse of the coefficient. So you have 4 times 2 divide 1. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 divide 1, still 8. Now, after that, we'll work with number 3. For number 3, let me write down the negative x of negative 6x. is equal to, I will write down the 9 first. Now I transpose the negative 15. This negative 15, when you transpose this one, become plus 15. So I have negative 6x equal to, this will give you a 24. So your answer will be negative. So put down the negative, and then 24 divided by 6 will be 4. So negative 4. And then, now for number 4. Number 4, let me exchange in position first. I will write 4a. I will put 4a minus 7 is equal to 5. It'll be easier for us to see in this to solve in this way. So 4a is equal to, I write down 5 first. Now I transpose negative 7. It's negative. When you transpose, become positive. 7. You have 4a equal to, this is 12 plus together 5 plus 7 12. So to get a value, all you need to do is use 12 divided by 4, which is 3. Let's move on furthermore. Let's work with number 3. Number 3, I write down negative 6c first. I write down the 9. Then I will transpose the 3. 3 here is positive. When I'm doing transposing, become negative. So I'm going to be negative 3. So you have negative 6. C equal to 9 minus 3. You got 6. This will be a negative because I have negative ones. One negative sign, so it will be negative answer. And 6 divide 6, you get 1. So negative 1. Number 6. I write down the negative. This negative belongs to the w, and it's negative w over 4 is equal to, I will write 28 first. Now I'm transposing the 15. It's plus 15, transposing minus 15. Negative w over 4 is equal to, if you got 28, you minus 15, that will give you 13. So now 13. So this is one negative, so will be a negative answer. And then all you need to do is to multiply 4 with 13. So 4 multiplied with 13, that will give you 52. Let's move furthermore. Okay. Now number 7. For number 7, I will do the same idea. I will exchange position. I put 2b plus 7 equal to 11. Then I will work on b. I write 2b first. Is equal to, write on 11. Now you transpose the 17. This is plus 17. When you do the transposing, it becomes minus 17. So you got 2b is equal to, this will be a negative 6. You got one negative sign, so the answer will be negative. And then 6 divided 2, you will get 3. So negative 3. Number 8. Again, I will exchange in position. 6p minus 5 equal to negative 17. 6p first equal to minus 17 first. Now you transpose the 5. This plus 5, this minus 5 become plus 5. So 6p equal to, now you got negative 17 plus 5 will be a negative 12. So this one negative sign will be a negative answer. 12 divided 6, you got 2. So negative 2. Now, number 9, you got 2g is equal to, I write down the negative 19. Now I transpose the 3, become plus 3. I got 2g equal to, this is a negative 16. So this negative sign, one negative sign, negative answer, 16 divided by 2, you get 8. For number 10, let me exchange in position. I got g over 3 plus 4 equal to 13, and then I move 13 to the other side. I move 4 to the other side, which means I have g over 3 is equal to 13. This is positive, become negative 4. So I got g over 3 equal to 9. So to get g, all you need to do is just use 3 times 9, which is 27. Number 11. Write down the negative 3d first is equal to negative 8. So you got negative 3d equal to negative 8. Now transpose the 13. This positive 13, which transpose to the other side, become negative 13. So you got negative 3d is equal to negative 21. Negative will be positive. So the answer will be positive answer. 21 divided by 3, you will have 7, positive 7. Number 12. Number 12, I will write 2 over 3m first on this side is equal to, write down the 10 first. Now transposing the negative 4 to the other side, become positive 4. Okay, so you have negative 2m. 2 over 3m is equal to 14. So to get m is equal to, will be a negative answer. So you have 14 multiplied by the negative of 3 multiplied by the inverse of the coefficient, as we have learned in our previous lesson, chapter 2, lesson 1. So we will put 2 down here. So you have 14 multiplied by 3 divides 2, or you can divide 2 first. 14 divides 2 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. For number 13. Right, for number 13, let's begin by writing negative 5y is equal to, I put 25, and then now I move 25 to the other side. This is positive. Now this is negative, it becomes positive. So 5y is equal to 50. It's negative 1 negative, so it will be a negative answer. 50 divided by 5 will give you 10. Number 14. Number 14, all you need to do, you have to work on the denominator first. In other words, you multiply this together. So you have a minus 4 is equal to, now we have 5 times 12. 5 times 12 will be 60. So after that, you move 4 to the other side, is positive 4, or negative 4, become positive 4. So 60 plus 4. So let's say is equal to 60 plus 4, because you transpose a negative to the other side, become positive. So you got 64 right here. This one, you will have n plus 3 is equal to, these two numbers multiplied together, negative 4 times 8, you have a negative 32. So this is negative 32, negative 32. So after that, you move this one to the other side. You have n is equal to negative 32, and then this is positive. Move it to the negative also, negative 3. So you will have negative 35. Now for number 16. Number 16, you have 6 plus z is equal to, work on this one together. 10 times negative 2, you have negative 20. So z equal to negative 20, and then negative 6. This positive become negative. So you have a negative 26. As simple as that. Alright, now let's read the problem first. 50 card on Lesson2. She want to purchase some bracelets that cost $8 each. There will be $10 overnight delivery fee. So okay, they already give you the equation to solve, so no big deal on this one. You don't have to write the equation. The equation already given to you. All you need to do is just solve the equation. So to solve this equation, you have 8n is equal to, we will write 50 first, and you move 10 to the other side, minus 10, you have 8n equal to 40. So 40 divide by 4, you have 5 bracelets. So 5. So the question, find the number of bracelets, okay? So when you divide this one by 5, 40 divided by 8, you will have 5. So 5 bracelets. For number 18, if you scan through the question, it seems like they already give you the equation to solve. So all you need to do is just solve these equations. Let me exchange in position first. I will write 20g plus 75 equal to 375, and then 20g is equal to 375, u minus 75, you have 20g is equal to, when you do the minus, equal to 300. So when you divide 300 by, you use 300 divided by 20, that will give you 15 rounds. Okay, how to find how many rounds of golf? Okay, so 15 rounds. And then the last two numbers for this section, lesson 1, chapter 2, lesson 2. Right, even in number 19, they already give you the equation to solve, this equation. All I need to do, I will exchange in position. I will put 26 minus 7p is equal to 15.50. That way easy for us to do the problem. So I write down minus 7p first equal to 15.50 minus this, do the transposing. Positive 26 become negative 26. So I have negative 7p is equal to, let me work on this one. You got 15.5 and then you minus by 26, that will give you negative 10, negative 10.5. So negative, there's no more negatives. Your answer will be positive. So once you have a positive answer, which means no negative, and then your last step is to get 10.5 divided 7. So 10.5 you divide 7, that will give you a $1.50. $1.50, which is the price of each game. Okay, last number 20. Now for number 20, alright, how many square feet should he order? Mr. Aaron want to put a new carpeting on a rectangular floor shown. Okay, we want to put carpet all of them, like do all this area, carpeting all of this. How many square feet should he order? Oh, okay. In other words, you have to find the area of the rectangle. This area. So area is length times the width, or width times the length. It works both ways. But the problem is you need to find, this have C, you need to find the value of C first in order for us to find the area of rectangle. So to get in a rectangle, its opposite sides are congruent. So which means that you have this side congruent or equal to this side. So you have 14 equal to 5 plus 3c, because the opposite side of a rectangle are congruent, or they are the same length. This 14 equal to this one. So to solve that for C, you will have 5 plus 3c is equal to 14. So I have 3c is equal to 14 minus 5. I have 3c equal to 9. So when this 3c equal to 9, that will give you the answer that c is equal to 3. Alright, c is equal to 3. So when c is equal to 3, so this length will be, so 6 times c, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 8 is 10. So in other words, you have the width is 10 feet, the length is 14 feet. Now to find the area of this rectangle, length times the width, or 10 times 14, you have this one as 140 square feet.